Peace! Welcome to a new episode of Forever Flowers. Today on Forever Flowers, we're going to be talking about somebody that you may or may not remember if you are a 90s kid. You might remember her from a Nickelodeon show that was really big in the 90s, All That. And she was one of the original cast members, and her name is Angelique Bates. Now, you might remember Angelique Bates from the very first two seasons. She played in various sketches, including Randy and Mandy, who are in love with chocolate. She was Beth from the Good Bookers sketches with Kel, and various other things she did. She played Urkel, and just various other roles on the show. And, recently, Nickelodeon has announced that in the next year, they're going to be bringing back All That.
We've been talking about it. It's going down, okay? We're not going to let y'all down. It's going to be awesome. Bam!
It's the truth, baby. It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's going down. All That is back, baby.
Yeah, get ready for it.
And it's going to be produced by Kenan Thompson, who is an OG All That cast member from seasons 1 to seasons 5, and big for Kenan and Kel and SNL and many other things. And because of this news, I wanted to do this Forever Flowers on Angelique Bates because there's a lot to unpack with her story and just a lot of things that have happened to her since her days on All That, and things that I've just heard around and things that she's put out into the media about herself and about that time, and why we don't see her more in the spotlight like the other cast members of All That, including Kenan and Kel, Amanda Bynes, Lori Beth Denberg, Josh Server, many others. So today we're going to talk about her because I honestly think she got the short end of the stick around that whole thing, but we're going to get into that. But today we're going to be talking about Angelique Bates. So Angelique Bates is an American actress, comedian, and rapper best known for the 2 seasons she served on the Nickelodeon sketch comedy series All That. Bates was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and is of Haitian and Native American descent. Bates got her start in a Borax commercial when she was a baby. She subsequently landed an AT&T commercial and a co-starring role in the movie Sweet Potato Ride. Bates' agent sent her out to audition for All That, and they liked what she did. She did a Steve Urkel impression, among other things. Following 4 or 5 auditions, Bates got the part. After 2 seasons, she left the series. She did, however, return for the 100th episode, along with fellow All That alumni Katrina Johnson and Elisa Reyes. After leaving All That, she was replaced by Amanda Bynes. Angelique later booked co-starring roles on Strong Medicine and Boston Public. Bates has also done several projects on her YouTube channel with former All That co-stars Katrina Johnson and Elisa Reyes. She is the famous Bubba Bub lady from the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job. She also appeared in the movie 35 and Ticking. Bates also released an international single, Can't Fade Me Now, on iTunes. Bates made an appearance in the music video for Love Never Felt So Good by Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake. So yeah, as you can see, Angelique Bates hasn't really been in a lot of different things since her All That days. I mean, she's been in a few things here and there that have gone viral, like the Tim and Eric thing and just various other things. But for the most part, she has been one of the lesser appreciated, the lesser celebrated, and the lesser known All That alumni. Now, I love Angelique Bates, okay? When All That first premiered on Nickelodeon back in 94, I was about 3 or 4 years old at that time. And when I was growing up, my parents were very adamant about me having strong role models in the TV shows and movies that I was watching. And 90% of what I was watching back then had to have somebody of color in them, or they weren't really suitable for me. Not saying that I wouldn't watch other things, but we preferred that I had a person of color in those shows to represent. And in All That, although there were Kenan and Kel, and they are my 2 favorite cast members of all time, I'm sure there are other people's too, but for me, I'm a woman. I'm a girl. So having somebody of color, somebody black, on a TV show that's a woman is really great representation as well. And I really appreciated Angelique Bates being on the show because she was a woman of color. She was black, and I appreciated that. Yes, we had Elisa Reyes, and she was, a mixture of different things, to be honest. She was a Latina, but she also had, I think, some Italian, maybe. I don't really know. But, it was just nice to see a dark-skinned black woman on your TV screen doing sketch comedy and making you laugh every day, right? It was great. Every Saturday, Snick would come on, all that, and you would know when the theme song starts, you hear TLC, you hear Left Eye's rap, and then you see Angelique Bates right there. And it's wonderful, Honestly, her Urkel was spot on. It was so funny. I loved her in Mandy and Mandy. I really do feel like there was a void after she left, because it was like, even the writers of the show, when she left, didn't know how to replace her fully. So they would have Kenan, who was her partner in that show, in that sketch. They would have him, they would basically enter the show, and it would be like, cooking with Randy, and they would put a question mark. And you knew there was a void. But you didn't fully understand why. And, Kenan would just have various other people come into the sketch and, do it with him. But after season 3, they had to cut the sketch because Angelique Bates wasn't there to do it with him. So there were certain things where she was very vital to those sketches, but because she left, we don't really know. Then it became awkward. Beth from the Good Booker sketches, when Kel kind of falls in love with the new employee Beth, that was really, really cute too. I really appreciate Angelique Bates a lot for what she brought to all that, and I feel like she needs to be celebrated more because she was a big part of all that for me. And I know that when she left, but we'll get into that, I felt a very, very big void. I mean, I love Amanda Bynes, honestly. I think Amanda Bynes is wonderful. But at the same time, I did feel a void when Angelique Bates left. And I really felt like she did not get her just due. Because if you watch the show, and I've been watching the show recently just because I am a nostalgic person, but I just love to watch my childhood shows. So I've been watching a lot of all that, and if you notice between seasons 1 and season 2, the 2 seasons that Angelique was on the show, you can notice that her roles by season 2 were getting cut smaller and smaller, and you barely see her on there at all. She might do Randy and Mandy, and that might be it. Or she might be a random person in one of the classrooms for just whatever, but she might not talk. It was crazy stuff like that, and it really got my nerves because I was like, but why aren't you guys giving her bigger roles? Why isn't she more part of this show? Why is she more celebrated? Why did this happen? And over the years, Angelique Bates has been putting out the truth about sort of why she left the show. Because a lot of people just assume that she just left the show. Maybe she didn't want to be on there anymore and she just left. And you never really saw her again, which makes me really sad. And I've always wondered why. I've always wondered why. And I've always wanted her to get more praise when it came to the All That universe. Because I feel like, yes, we should celebrate the Kenan and Kels. We should celebrate the Josh Servers. We should celebrate the Lori Beth Denbergs. We should celebrate the Amanda Bynes. But there were way more people that made All That what it was. Danny Tamborelli's, there were way more people, that made All That what it was. Elisa Reyes, Katrina Johnson. I mean, her Ross Perot was incredible. And I just think that there should be more love to the other cast members of All That than just Kel, Kenan, Lori, Josh, and Danny Tamborelli. I love the 5 of them. They're amazing. They are. I really love them a lot. But Katrina Johnson was an important part of the show. Elisa Reyes was an important part of the show, and Angelique Bates was a really important part of the show, and I don't understand why they don't get more praise, right? Angelique Bates especially. And I guess I'm on here to really talk about what she's put out into the world, of why she sort of left the show and we haven't really seen much of her since. And just to like talk about why she's important to me. So over the past few years, she has been putting out into the world basically reasons why she wasn't on season 3 of All That. Yes, she got replaced by Amanda Bynes. That is 100% true. Amanda Bynes basically stole her position on the show, and it was just like it was like Angelique Bates was so easily replaceable that Amanda Bynes was able to just swoop in and take her spot and become the new cool person that season 3, you know, it was so cool season 3, and then that was it. And then you don't look back and you just remember Amanda Bynes. Like, you forget that Angelique Bates was even on there. Like, that's sad to me. But also, it's coming out more and more that Angelique Bates was abused by her mother while on the show, as well as I've seen in other interviews that, and this comes up into the questions of Dan Schneider and a lot of the shady things that he's done over the years. There's been some stuff around him. There's been some stuff around her mom and abusing her. And it's a lot. There's a lot of different YouTube videos that I will link below that you guys can go check out that talk about like the things that were happening to her at that time that, you know, go along with the story. And she's putting it out there because I think she wants more people to understand why she was absent from season 3. Why, after she left All That, being a #1 kids show, being something that was so famous at that time, and she gets nothing after that. You don't see her in anything. Like, she's barely even like a thing. And she said in an interview and in this video that I will link that she basically was blackballed from the industry because of a lot of things that happened, and because of that she wasn't able to get a lot of roles. And really that sucks because she was on a #1 kid show. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I know that Kenan and Kel were like the stars of the show. I get it that Lori Beth Denver was a really big part of the show, Josh Server, like all these people. But Angelique Bates was important, and I just wish people would really realize that Angelique Bates was a really important part of All That. And I just really think that it's sad that she just doesn't get her props, that she was basically blackballed from the industry, and it took so long for her to even get, you know, a role that people would recognize her from. You know what I mean? Like, from the minute she left the show, I was like, where's Angelique Bates? Like, why is she not here anymore? Like, why couldn't it be that Amanda Bynes came onto the show as an added person and didn't take her spot? Like, what is going on? And I know there's some things in the background that are not being put out into the light. And Angelique Bates is trying to put out a lot of things into the light about her mom abusing her and about, you know, the shady things that Dan Schneider did. But, you know, it's just sad. And I know that, you know, the rest of the cast were kids, like literal kids. They were teenagers, like they were young kids, young teenagers, and they didn't have any power. And so I completely do not blame not one of the cast members. Like, I can't blame them, because they were writing their meal ticket, so I can't even get mad at them. Like, I cannot get mad at them. Because if we're going to be honest, even though Kenan and Kel are, like, the most memorable people from All That, from Kenan and Kel, from that whole, like, 90s Nickelodeon era, who got the better end of the stick? Kenan. Kel, for a long time, besides the fact that they had a rumor out there that he was dead, which I never fully understood, but that was, like, during the, like, very beginnings of the internet, so people were putting out random rumors, and because the internet was like so new, a lot of people were believing stuff that wasn't true, but whatever. But, you know, it's crazy. It's like Kenan got the bigger end of the stick, and I get that because Kenan was a bigger star in the 90s than Kel. Like, even though Kel's comedic everything was like over the top and like amazing and like super hilarious, Kenan had a bigger film resume prior to getting on All That. Like, he was in the Mighty Ducks number 2 and 3, and he was in Heavyweights, and he was just in a lot of different stuff before all that even popped off. So I think that's why Keenan is more, well prized and well praised in the industry. And I feel like that about, a lot of people. And it's just like, it's weird, like, after cast members leave all that, like, I feel like they just go into obscurity, and it's really sad because they should be celebrated more and able to keep going with their careers. They should be able to keep going and knowing that they have this under their belt, that's this number one kids show under their belt, and they're able to keep it going as a flourishing career. It shouldn't have just been Keenan, It shouldn't have just been Keenan. And, some of the cast members being on all that for so long, like Josh Server and others, I know probably were tired, and so they want to take a break, which is totally fine. But they should have had the opportunity, when wanting to come back and be able to make a big career for themselves. You know what I mean? And I just really honestly feel like Angelique Bates got the short end of the stick when it came to all of this, more than anybody else. Because she only got to be on there for 2 seasons, and then she was basically blackballed. She had low self-esteem, and things were just really bad for her. And I just really felt for her so hard. When I found out that her mom was abusing her back then, and like all the stuff that happened with Dan Schneider, I was just like, you poor woman. Like, I feel so bad for you. You know what I mean? But what I really am happy about is that she has Alisa Reyes, she has Katrina Johnson on her side. She has Kel, because Kel and her go to the same church, so she has Kel on her side. Like, she has certain people from the show on her side. And, not to say that everybody else wasn't on her side, but like, just, they have these people, she has these people on her side. And I really, really appreciate that, because if they weren't on her side, I don't know where she'd be. Like, I really feel bad for her situation and just the things that she's had to endure over, the past almost 30 years. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's honestly crazy. Like, 25-30 years. Like, it's super crazy. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just want Angelique Bates, if she ever hears this, to just know that she's an important person, and that even if nobody else appreciated you on all that I personally appreciated you tremendously. You were a very pivotal point and very pivotal person in my growing up. And without you on the show, I did very much feel a void. And I felt like they were, because it took them almost 4 seasons to get a new black girl on the show. And that made me sad. That made me sad because you had Angelique Bates for 2 seasons. And then you had her replaced by Amanda Bynes. And then it wasn't even until like midway through season 4 that they decided to bring on Christina Knowings. And I love her. And then she's a recurring cast member for season 5 and 6, which is great, 100%. But I don't feel like all that, to be honest, really appreciated black women on the show. And I don't know if that's a Dan Schneider thing, because I don't want to say that was a Nickelodeon thing, if we're going to be honest. Although Nickelodeon has had, their way with cutting programs and shows that dealt with black folks early for no reason. But we won't talk about that right now. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that it took them a while to even get a new black woman on the show makes me sad. Like, it makes me sad. It really does. So, yeah, I just want to send so much praise and love and light to Angelique Bates, and just know that you have fans. You do. We really honestly appreciate you, and we appreciate what you have been able to bring to the entertainment world over the past 25 years. And we just hope that you have so much success in the continuing years. And just know that you were very vital to my growing up. I loved you on all that. And there was definitely a void when you left. There was definitely a big void when you left. And, I just feel for you for everything you had to go through over the years. And I'm just really, 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 really sorry for your everything that you've dealt with. I just feel for you, girl. So But just know that you are so surrounded in love and light from all of your fans, and that I am a huge fan of you, and I just really want you to know that you were really, really important to me growing up, and I can still watch a lot of your clips from all that and still crack up. You are hilarious. So yes, I love you, and I'm just sending you so much light. So yeah, that was the Forever Flowers for Angelique Bates of the first 2 seasons of All That from Nickelodeon. And I love you, Angelique Bates. You're wonderful. Till next time, peace and blessings.